Watch this.
And welcome to this special year-end edition of the 208. Another year when we went to a lot of interesting places, met a lot of interesting people with the goal of sharing their stories with you. This is the time of year when we like to reflect on all of those things. So we thought it would be a good time to have everyone on the 208 team consider their favorite non-controversial, more fun stories we've covered in 2023. We like to call them feature stories. From the beginning, we wanted to set ourselves apart with our visuals, the kind of photography and storytelling you won't find anywhere else. So, of course, we're going to begin today's show with one of our favorites from our chief photojournalist and editor, Kevin Esslinger. His pick has to do with picking up dog poo. You know, Americans were expected to spend more than $143 billion this year on their pets. And most of that's going to be spent on feeding them, of course. But according to the American Pet Products Association, nearly $12 billion will be spent on other services. You know, other services like, oh, I don't know, paying someone to pick up your yard. Yes, this is a thing. And not only is it a thing, it's a very popular thing and apparently a competitive thing, a thing people travel thousands of miles to convene over. Keeping up with Stephanie Kellogg
Slide in front of you for just a second.
isn't exactly easy. That's because she's got to do. That's actually Stephanie's job.
Cleaning up dog poop.
It's a business
Turd nerd.
Stephanie and her husband started 15 years ago.
Well, we just kind of stepped right into it one day. Sorry, slow it down.
Had to do it. And she's been piling on the poop puns since. But she's also been logging the steps.
Just training your eyes and going in a good pattern.
And sharpening her specialty, speed.
I charge by the minute, so they like that I'm fast.
Clients like it, but it kind of puts photographers in a pinch. This is what you do.
This is what I do, clean up dog poop all day long.
There's a lot of others like you,
There's thousands of them.
and they all get together at conventions,
Yes,
and they have contests there.
we do. That's what brought me there.
There was the Association of Professional Animal Waste Specialists annual conference in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
I flew 2,500 miles to get to this convention.
And it's where Stephanie showed her stuff.
Come on!
Come on, guys!
Get in there!
In a turd herding contest. 60 seconds to pick up as many potato wedges
Oh, it's gonna be close.
as possible.
Yum.
The winner
Ew.
scooped 63.
I got, I guess, 60 in 60 seconds, and that put me in second place.
So you're number 2,
Unfortunately, this time I was number 2.
but that's fitting.
Right.
What else is fitting? The situation Stephanie found herself in on the way home. So you tried to carry that onto the plane.
Correct.
What'd they say?
Well, it was in a bag, and they were like, do you have something with a shovel in there? And I said, I do. I have a trophy. And they pulled it out and started laughing. Have you ever seen a turd herding contest?
Oh, sure, Stephanie sees the humor, but she also sees the honor, as evidenced by what she dropped on social media. Were you thinking like, okay, I'm gonna get a lot of for this?
No, I was proud
I could tell.
to bring this home and to show it off that I actually flew 2,500 miles to get it and got it.
Yeah, looks like they're gonna have to change the slogan on all the cars. Because you're now number 2 in the number 2 business.
Correct.
Okay, so what is Stephanie going to do with that trophy? Well, she says it's going on the shelf in the office along with all the other stuff, the poo paraphernalia that they've collected over the years. All right, it's time to move on to Andrew Bartline's pick from October when one West Overland tattoo shop started to draw a lot of looks, and not for what they were doing inside the shop. It's called Bornweird Tattoo and Piercing, but a more fitting moniker may be Born with Hypothyroidism. You'll understand when you see it. Here's Andrew Bartline.
It's a business, technically, but mostly a home for art, personally.
Bornweird Tattoo,
Taken to the letter
and hopefully this just becomes,
by owner,
you know,
Kendall Vader.
a haven for everything weird, you know?
Everything?
It's very eye-catching,
Everything.
no pun intended.
We'll look past that one.
I've been making sculptures for quite a few years. I maxed out every credit card to fully make this place like the way it should be, you know?
Just the way it says. Weird.
My end game has always been to have like a roadside attraction because Boise is becoming a chain, you know, everything is a corporate owned business. We're really trying to make this section of the bench a little more exciting.
A bit more visual, a lot more far-sighted.
I plan on it being there for multiple generations.
And so now if it's anchored down, we know that this thing is not going anywhere, which then prompts the question, it's gotta be looking somewhere.
Following the line of sight to where looks matter most. Bryn noticed instantly.
Yes, I did.
Her 9 to 5 on Overland is now under watch.
And it's like literally directly looking at me, so.
Which is the name of the game when going for looks.
It's art, and I do art for a living, so I have to respect it.
A cosmetologist's conclusion, it passes the eye test. After a cosmetic conversion, of course.
My dad contacted me and said, hey, do you need this big ocean buoy? And I was like, absolutely. I knew right away I was going to make a giant eyeball. It's all solid steel. All the veins were welded on there.
A tourist attraction, but likely not his last.
It's going to get real weird over here.
Off to a good start, personally.
Like, you would just not expect it to be there, so I think it's kind of cool.
With the built-in audience.
So I'm going to continue to build new things that Boise's never seen before. And it's, I feel like something that the whole neighborhood can get behind, you know?
It's certainly a better view from the front. Bornweird is convinced this is the largest eyeball in Idaho, but if you know of a bigger one, we want to know about it. They told us they needed a forklift from the fireplace business across the street to put the 5.5-foot peeper in its place. So for the foreseeable future, they, along with a lot of drivers on Overland Road, have something strange to look at, or maybe something to look at them. All right, our next story is Joe Paris's pick. When a new place to shred came to the City of Trees. Well, it actually came together rather quickly because, well, it needed to. Last July, Joe Paris dropped in on the Molinar Skate Park.
Whether you know it or not, Boise is a skate town.
Any given day in roads of downtown, we'll see 50, 60, 70 skaters. I'm not sure why they're not in school when it's a school day.
As the director of Boise Parks and Rec, Doug Holloway has watched the skate community grow. It's easy to track seminal moments in that. X Games in Boise was a huge part of it.
We had skaters from all over the world, the top skaters from around the world. It was an invite-only type of event, so you had to be invited by ESPN in order to come to Boise, Idaho to skate in those events.
To be a skate town, you need skate parks. And like the rest of Boise, yeah, it's about growth. Brings us here, Molinar Skate Park.
I would look at this park here, skate park at Molinar, as being a mini Rhodes. It really is. It has some of the same features. It has the same type of layout from the standpoint that it is for beginners all the way through experts.
Truth be told, without the J.A. and Catherine Albertson's Family Foundation, this park wouldn't be ready to celebrate for several more years.
They work closely with the Boise Skateboard Association and the City of Boise to say, why don't we build this park sooner than when the city could build it. We were way on board.
And speaking of being on board, new parks need new skaters. 15-year-old Noah Thomas has been shredding through the City of Trees since he was a young kid.
I just fell in love. It was super fun.
Noah Thomas ripped through the new park as the city counts down to the grand opening celebration.
I love this skate park. I think it has a bunch of stuff, a bunch of area, bunch of features. It's like a mini Rhodes, like he said. It's great. I think it really flows nice. There's a bunch of space in between features and a bunch of variety from beginner to expert.
So to highlight the accessibility of the park, Holloway lined up Noah to give us some skating lessons.
And I think you're gonna try it out.
I'm gonna try something out.
Yeah, what do you mean something?
I don't know.
You brought your board.
I got the board.
And you've got your helmet.
I've got a helmet. I'll replace the hat. No, gotta hit it. There you go.
First, Noah refreshed the basics, like just moving around.
Back in the pocket.
Off to a hot start. Learning to fall is a good step, though. Back on board, though.
There you go. And this bank. Oh,
Of course, skating's big on tricks, so let's trick it out. Ollie time.
there you go.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Got a lot of air.
Final test for day 1 of skate school. Going coast to coast.
Lean forward, foot's on the bolts, strong stance.
That's activity, and that's physical activity, and we really want to see that with our families. It's healthy, it builds community in the city of Boise.
To cap off the day, Noah showed what skaters can really do at this park.
You go fast, like manuals, flow, and long grinds here, I feel like. It feels like I'm just gliding. It's so fun. Flowing through the park, trying out new stuff. It's crazy that they're doing this for the skate community and they're just making new skate parks, new spots. It's crazy to me.
Of course, Molinar Skate Park has been a hit since it officially opened on August 1st. You know, these days, it might be instinctual for you to immediately reach for your phone if you find yourself stuck at an intersection. Well, one of my favorites from the year comes from what happens if you don't, if you just take in your surroundings and take the time to notice the world around you, or at least your location. You know, a social media post from last summer caught our attention, and it had to do with Treasure Valley street names. Likely you've heard of Chicken Dinner Road in Caldwell, or Frozen Dog Road in Emmett, and of course there's This and That Road in Weiser. And we've done stories on most of those streets, which kind of left us at a crossroads when it comes to telling a story, an interesting story about weird and wonderful street names. Wait a minute, what about Crossroads? So where do you start a story about street signs? How about in the beginning? You know, there are several out there that just make sense, like living on Easy Street. Some that are silly, but are no joke if you choose to drive on it. Others are, well, just lame. Holmes Street. Whose idea was this? This is barely a street. I mean, it's like one step above a gravel road. Okay, so how about when two streets cross, like star-crossed lovers? Two street signs, both alike in color scheme, in fair Tuscany, where we lay our scene. And actually across the rest of the Treasure Valley. So what's in a name? A lot more when you put two of them together to create some interesting intersections.
Yeah.
Ray Lopez.
It's a nice little neighborhood. Everyone here is pretty chill, so yeah.
Bought his house 2 decades ago.
Close to the highway.
For its location.
Close to everything downtown Nampa. Close to where I work right now.
But really didn't consider where it was.
No, I didn't even think twice about it.
Until he had to tell people where he lived.
I was like, I live on the corner of Cinnamon and Sugar. You can't miss it. They're like, no, you don't. I'm like, yeah, I do. Where? I'm like, Cinnamon and Sugar, guys. It's, you know, it's silly. I know.
But go ahead. You live on the corner of Cinnamon and Sugar.
Yeah.
Say it to Ray's face.
Yes, I do.
In fact, it's sort of a spicy neighborhood. Yeah, nutmeg's right there.
Nutmeg's there.
Sugar and spice and everything nice.
Yeah, everything nice, yes. Yes.
Meanwhile, more than a single bound across town, and more powerful than a locomotive.
Up in the sky, it's a bird. It's a plane.
No, it's just Lois Lane, Superman's girlfriend, which intersects with Iowa, where the Daily Planet reporter grew up. That one, you kind of have to think about. But on one corner in Cuna...
Not really.
You don't. Do you know what you're standing under right now? Or maybe...
Just a street sign?
Yeah. What streets? You do.
Maple and Syrup.
So this is the corner of...
Maple and Syrup.
Maple Syrup. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I guess. Down another avenue in town, School Avenue, we find Don Carlin doing his best Tom Sawyer.
Yeah, I kind of walked into this one, but it's okay.
For a house on the corner of School Recess.
School Recess, yep.
Which is kind of cool for a former teacher.
I am. So recess and school has a double meaning for me.
Now retired, every day feels like recess for Don.
It does.
When he's not painting a fence. Not a bad place for a retired school teacher.
Not a bad place. Great place, actually.
You know, one thing we learn in school is history and geography.
No.
Just don't ask Martha to put the two together.
I am horrible geographically.
If I asked you where you were right now, you wouldn't know.
Well, I know that I'm on Franklin.
You're on Franklin.
My husband told me that.
You're on Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what intersection you're sitting in front of?
No.
Can you take a look back there and tell me what you see?
Benjamin.
And?
Franklin. Corner of Benjamin and Franklin. Sort of.
Say that one more time.
Benjamin and Franklin. Sort of.
Does it hit?
Oh, geez, Louise, Benjamin Franklin. That's funny.
You didn't even know that?
No.
But now you know.
Now I know. I'm on Benjamin and Franklin.
And we know there's a few more out there possibly. I think Drumstick Lane runs into Chicken Dinner Road, so it kind of all makes sense. And if you know of any of them, go ahead and send us a picture of it. Email, text, either one. We'd love to see them. And of course, share them. As always, you can reach us at 208-321-5614 or email us at the208@ktvb.com. All right, coming up, can you spot a love letter written by artificial intelligence? Well, that's what we asked lovebirds last Valentine's Day as they bought bounties for their boo. Welcome back to the 208 year-end special. And our producer Katie Yates' first choice for favorite story dates back to February 14th when, well, dating was on the mind, and letters to those dates, they weren't really easy to think of. So we turned to something that's been in the headlines all year, an artificial intelligence language model called ChatGPT, which is helping countless couples express their love in a special way. But can computer-generated love letters compete with actual letters written by actual people? Once again, here's Andrew Bartline.
It's good to see you.
There's a lot of pressure to get it right,
Happy Valentine's Day.
starting with the arrangements.
What else would we be doing today?
But for Dorothy Hope,
This is for Virginia.
it doesn't end there.
You're welcome.
The hallmark of the holiday is the arrangement
You mean the enclosure card?
of the words.
Enclosure cards, yeah.
These cards tend to need a little help
Generally, yes.
because the customer
It generally mostly is missed.
tends to practice a pattern.
Happy Valentine's Day, love your husband. So we try to help him out with that.
But after so many Valentines,
It's been 38 years,
Hope Bloom's flowers could use some help too.
so I'm not gonna lie, I have turned to that chat AI thing a couple of times when I've been stumped.
Cybersecurity company McAfee says 1 in 3 men plan to do the same.
No.
This year's
No.
Valentine's Day.
No, we're never apart.
But could Kevin White
We're celebrating 44 years next month.
tell them apart?
You are the perfect partner in every sense, and I love you more with each passing day. Oh, it just says everything. I mean, that's how I feel about it.
A robot wrote that.
Really?
A computer.
Turns out, you like that one the most?
I think so.
Why do you like that one? A lot like the robot.
It just kind of, it resonates a bit with me. So I really do feel lucky to have my wife by my side.
But placed side by side,
Oh, for sure.
a personal touch still stands out.
You know how to make me laugh when I want to cry, support me when I want to fly. You're always there to get me by. Happy Valentine's Day, my love.
Ben Charles picked a letter written by our producer, Katie.
I was a pilot in the Navy, so I'm a pilot for FedEx now, so I fly all the time.
Like flowers,
Can you hand me a couple?
the words are just an arrangement.
We used to just say it with flowers, so now you can say it with AI and chat GPI or whatever it is.
It's all influenced by genuine intentions.
As long as you have some input to it, it kind of just polishes it up a little bit, I guess.
And just another tool to get it right.
When you're not a Hallmark entity, it helps a lot, so.
All right, only one man took our Chat GPT prompts on Valentine's Day, but the flower shop, well, she said she liked them. Dorothy said she might even use a few. Dorothy also saw right through some of those Chat GPT letters, so she was pretty good at knowing what was fake and what wasn't, so good for her. All right, one more to go. Fight for the orange and blue. Wait, those are the words, right? I think? Well, let's see if one fraternity can remember them 21 years after they sang it for 24 hours straight ahead of a home opener on the blue. There are several things we love here on the 208. One of them is when we can look back on something John Miller did years ago. So we'll leave you with an update on something we did in September of this year for a Miller story that was originally done more than 20 years ago when a Boise fraternity sang the BSU fight song over and over and over again for 24 hours ahead of the Broncos' home opener against the U of I. John Miller caught up with that fraternity in the middle of a morale booster back in 2002. So in 2023, we brought them back together again.
3, 2, 1.
Fight Broncos, celebrate the orange and blue. Boise will stand and cheer for you.
How often do you sing?
Every 15 minutes.
Fight for distinction and our alma mater.
2 p.m. today till 2 p.m. tomorrow.
Bravely defending BSU.
You have no idea what the words are to this song, do you?
Nope, not a clue.
Fight on courageously for Boise State.
But the Kappa Sigs and all who join them every 15 minutes are learning, fueled by cake, humored by hacky sack, and led by President Mike Clifford.
I'll be here all night.
Mike Clifford would be here all night.
Does anybody want to sing the fight song?
And he would be here again.
Does anybody know the fight song?
2 decades later. Can you believe it's been 21 years?
No. No. That was a long time ago.
Everybody graduate?
Yeah. Yes.
Eventually.
Eventually. Pat on the back. Congratulations.
Good job, Russ.
Nobody seemed to know the words very well.
Some of us did. Certainly some of us will never forget them after singing it for 24 hours. That thing was in my head for weeks.
And now years.
And now years, yes.
I assume you came prepared to do this again.
Do what?
Sing the fight song.
No.
Yes.
No, that's not part of the deal.
This is part of the deal.
All right, fine.
So 21 years after this.
2, 1.
Fight Broncos, celebrate the orange and blue.
Mike and the rest of the Kappa Sigs are back on the quad.
Fight Broncos,
for this.
Celebrate the orange and blue. Boise will stand and cheer for you. Cheer for you!
Backed once again by Kelly, Sean, and Russ.
Bravely defending BSU. BSU!
And a couple of current brothers. Mike showed they and Russ.
Success and honor make her great. Make her great!
Still got it.
Boise's proud tradition, heads of competition, glory for BSU.
Who's going to perform better, the team this weekend or you guys?
The team this weekend, hopefully.
Go Orange! Go Big Blue! Go Orange! Go Big Blue! Fight! Fight! BSU!
Nice!
That sounded a lot better than it did 20 years ago.
And you can see they're all still friends. All right, that's a wrap on our 2023 wrap. Thank you for continuing to support our stories throughout this year. We'll see you next year.